A shortage of drivers means scores of trains are being cancelled every week by one of our main rail operators.
LondonMidland has apologised to passengers for the disruption, but say a normal service won't resume until the middle of December at the earliest. Unions claim more than 30 drivers have left the company in recent weeks for better paid jobs elsewhere. Here's our transport correspondent, Peter Plisner.
No one likes cancellations, and thankfully today there weren't many. But over the last few weeks, a driver shortage problem has meant hundreds of cancelled services and thousands of passengers left waiting on platforms.
It's a pain in the neck, to be honest, especially when you're on a tight timetable like I am to get home and pick the kids up from school, from work.
It's quite difficult for me, really. I mean, I have to get the train back really late from work, so it just means I get back an hour later than I'd want to.
And according to rail unions, drivers are leaving London Midland because they can get more money elsewhere.
Recently we've had 31 drivers who have left the company and gone to other competitors where their terms, conditions, rate of pay and benefits package is all better.
London Midland couldn't put up a spokesman today, but in a statement admitted that it was suffering from a loss of an unusually high number of drivers, and as a result it was having to cancel services when it was unable to cover the shortfall with those volunteering for overtime. The statement added that several trainees are due to complete a 2-year training course over the coming months, but that services wouldn't get back to normal until mid-December. It's not the first time London Midlands had to cancel services because of a driver shortage problem. 3 years ago, the company was forced to cancel virtually every service after drivers refused to volunteer for Sunday working. Then it was a dispute with the union. Now it's a recruitment problem. Rail watchdog bodies maintain that it's yet more evidence of cost-cutting on the railways.
We've seen station closures, we've seen a reduction in station staffing hours. No, that's not acceptable, and I think this problem over driver availability is all part of that.
While London Midland does face fines when trains are either late or cancelled, what passengers really want is a reliable service.
And Peter joins us now from Birmingham's New Street station. Now, Peter, the unions say that they're not paying enough, but how much actually does a London Midland driver get these days?
Well, Nick, London Midland drivers earn around £40,000 a year. Basically, they can earn more if they do overtime, but as with any industry, others will pay more, and drivers seem to be voting with their feet and going elsewhere, and that's why London Midland are in such difficulty.
Not just London Midland in the news, of course. The West Coast Main Line saga goes on. Any developments there?
Yes, if you remember that First Group beat Virgin Trains to the right to run trains on the West Coast Main Line for the next 15 years. And of course, that was overturned last week spectacularly when the government discovered errors in the way the bids had been assessed. Now, some main issues have emerged today about what went wrong. A failure to assess the bids in terms of the taxpayers' risk, we're told. They forgot to include inflation. There was some double counting, which made it impossible to assess the bids. A new software was used, which hadn't been used before. And one bidder was given erroneous information. So it's not surprising that they did scrap the bidding process.
And Virgin's current franchise runs out, I think, on December the 9th. Any news on who's going to run things after that?
No, discussions are still going on. There's still three main options. One is that Virgin gets an extension to its franchise, that Virgin is put under a management contract by the government, or that the government brings in its own directly operated railway company. Basically, we should get an announcement on Monday, but as I say, discussions are still going on.
Peter, thank you.